Hello children, in this video we will discuss the next mode of asexual reproduction, that is budding. Budding word is made from a word that is bud means outgrowth. The growth of any part towards the outer region is referred as a bud. It is a mode of asexual reproduction in which a parent organism will give rise to an outgrowth that will detach from the parent plant and give rise to a young one. That mode of asexual reproduction in which a single parent will give an outgrowth, will give rise to an outgrowth, and that outgrowth will develop into a complete organism, will develop into a young one. That mode of asexual reproduction is known as budding. The example of budding which we'll discuss is hydra. After a certain time, the parent hydra gets matured and an outgrowth is developed from it. So, after a particular age, what happens? An outgrowth is generated from the hydra. That outgrowth can be generated from any parts, like this much. This is outgrowth, and that is known as bud. So that's how the reproduction takes place. Now, in the previous video, we discussed the binary fission. In fission, nucleus divides first and then cytoplasm division takes place. That is, karyokinesis occurs before the cytokinesis. But in the budding, karyokinesis, that is the division of nucleus. Karyon means nucleus, kinesis means division, and cytokinesis, that means the division of cell or cytoplasm, occurs simultaneously, collectively. Both occurs at the same time. So that is the budding. That is the difference between the budding and the fission. That's what then this bud detached from the parent plant. These are tentacles, bache. This bud will get detached. Like this. So this is the detachment of bud, and later on this bud will grow into a complete new hydra. So a young hydra is generated, is produced by a method named as budding. The asexual mode of reproduction in which an outgrowth will give rise to a young one from a single parent. That mode of asexual reproduction is known as budding. Next, the other example which we'll study is yeast. Yeast is the unicellular fungi which also gives multiple budding. This is the yeast structure, which looks like. What it does, it gives rise to a bud. That bud will further give rise to a bud, and so on. So this kind of budding is referred as multiple budding. In this way, the nucleus and the cytoplasm divides simultaneously. They both divide at the same time. So if someone shows you a slide which or a question may be asked upon, there are certain diagram will be there. And the question may be asked, which of these diagrams correctly represent the budding in yeast? The answer would be D, bache. In D, the cytoplasm is divided equally and simultaneously as well as with the nucleus. But in this, look at the diagram carefully, bache. Here nucleus, but in this bud nucleus is not there, which can't be happen. In here, bache, the bud is formed, the bud is produced. It is not detached from it yet, but there is no nucleus in it, so it is incorrect. In that as well, a bud is formed, and that bud, the newly formed bud, will give rise to a new bud, but that is also does not containing the nucleus. So this diagram is also incorrect. So these three are incorrect, and this one is the correct representation of budding in yeast. So that's how you will identify the diagram based question related to the budding. So what is budding, bache? It is the asexual mode of reproduction in which an outgrowth that is known as bud will give rise to a young one by a single parent or from a single parent, that is known as budding.